Hi.
Oi, so they give access to their job portal, Geeks for Geeks, for free?
Yes, complimentary with the course.
And you got your job through that?
Me and 15,000 others across the world.
No way!
Oh, yes, Wiz. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hey geeks, Akshay this side. How are you guys? How are you guys doing? Welcome to another session on live mock interview. It's a DSA based round this time again. And let me tell you more about the guest. The student's name is Harsh Shukla. He's from Jaypee Institute of Information Technology. He is pursuing his CSC from there and he's in his final year, fourth year. So he wants to go through the same experience just before the placement session. So this is about the student, and obviously you know already about Dhananjay. He's in-house mentor at GeeksforGeeks. He'll be interviewing Harsh today, and Dhananjay has 4+ years of experience in competitive programming. Also, his code force rank is 1870. So it will be really interesting. I can see some of the comments. Hi status. Okay, Roshan is asking. So obviously, mostly Roshan, the questions will be on DSA related questions only. So without delaying any further, let me invite both of them and let's start the session. And I would really appreciate if 24 people are live. So if you guys are engaging in the comments, when questions are going on, you can yourself solve and discuss among yourselves. So that would be really great. It would make the session more interesting and engaging. So let me invite both of them and let's start the session. Hi Dhananjay, hi Harsh, how are you?
Hi, sir.
Hello,
Hi.
sir.
Hi, Harsh.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, Dhananjay, I think you can take the lead from here and we can start the session. We'll keep whole of the session in English now, 100%, because many people from outside India and South India are also watching us. So, please take care of that, guys. Huh?
Sure. Cool.
All right, Dhananjay. Please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Uh, hello, Harsh. How are you?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Fine.
Okay. Uh, this is all about a DSA particular round, right? Particular, it could be a proper DSA round. So, can you please, briefly introduce me about yourself? Like, if you are doing any internship currently, and what are you doing? This pandemic, and what are you pursuing and all?
Sure, sir. So, sir, I'm Harsh Shukla from Jaypee Institute of Information Technology, pursuing my BTech in Computer Science, and I am currently in my final year. So, sir, particularly I am interested in web development, basically, especially the front end part. So, as in my academics, I have also undertook certain projects on web development. And as mentioned in my resume, I made two web application. One was online React Meet application that was inspired by Google Meet. Surely during the pandemic season, when we see the rising in demand of this online platform, so we try to understand how these platform works. And another was online resume maker, as majority of students from final year concerned about how their resume looks like. So we decided to make a platform that provide various templates and doing certain research on how resume should be and watching certain videos. So we provided some templates to the user, and as per my part is concerned, in online resume maker I implemented front end using React, and integrated various open source JavaScript library like intro.js and data.os. And
Okay.
in Meet application I implemented the part of chatting, that
Okay,
chat.
Harsh, I would like to interrupt you a bit, right? So you told me about these two projects, right? First of all, I'll be have a doubt or kind of query kind of thing. I can say that in the second project that you mentioned that you created a resume creator, right? So there are
Yes,
various online resume creators available. As far as I know, there is a Overleaf website
yes, yes.
Overleaf. Yeah. So what's the difference between that that project and yours?
Sir, there are a lot of online resume maker, and particularly we can see that like LinkedIn and on all other online resume maker, LinkedIn also provide feature of auto generating the resume. So
Mm-hmm.
not only our web application maintain only resume, but also maintain a profile of a user, and automatically as per the user skills and whatever he have entered in the profile, an auto-generated resume is generated, which can further be customized by a user. And this link
Okay.
for the profile is shareable, so that can also work like Behance. And currently we are working on project. We were in group of three, so all of three were working on project, and we are trying to enhance some more.
Okay. So talking about your first project, correct? So you said that you were you were fancied by the idea of Google Meet and you try to replicate or make a replica out of it, right? So I say that there are a lot of that meeting apps there, right? We have Zoom, right? We have another like Google Meet and all. So did you implemented anything different from them, right? Because did you try to implement a thing? Because I always had a doubt, right? Because in these meet like Google Meet and Zoom app, right? So there is a quantity or a particular constraint or restriction on the number of guests we can have at a particular time. So did you solve anything regarding that?
Yes, sir. Actually, when we started making project, we decided that we will add something apart the thing which are not present in Google Meet or Zoom. At that time, in Google Meet, the whiteboard was not present. It was implemented later by Google. So we decided that this whiteboard feature could be very much helpful for taking class. So at that time, we have started implementing the whiteboard, integrating with our Google Meet. So that was also implemented by our teammate. Further, we decide on this restriction of number of users. So as we started our project, we decided that we will have a large number of participants. We can have large number of participants in our application. But as we move on and we figure out how these things, particularly how we get restricted in adding number of users, so that was about 10 to 20 user that server can handle.
Okay, so these are all the projects that you have successfully completed up till your fourth year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us now, as you know, that this interview is all about DSA, right? So
Yes, sir.
the first question I would like to know this: how much strong or proficiency do you consider like in the DSA part, and which language are you comfortable with in coding?
Sir, as per if I am asked to rate myself, so sir, DSA is something which anyone can learn as much as he wants. So I can rate myself up to scale of between 7 to 8 out of 10.
Mhm.
And sir, second question was related to,
The
sir, I
language
forgot.
proficiency.
Language. So sir, I am comfortable with C++.
Okay, cool enough. So that's my language also. So it will be fun, right? Yeah. So moving on to the questions, right? So the first question is that you are given a 2D grid
Yes, sir.
of n cross m dimension. That means n rows and m columns, and so it is a basically a binary grid. Binary grid means only values will be 0 and 1s. Correct? You must be knowing that. The one most interesting property about this grid is that the rows are sorted. The rows are sorted. Each row is sorted. That means if it is a binary grid, that means first of all in each row all zeros will be there and then the ones will be there. Now your task is to find the first row. I repeat, the first row with maximum number of ones.
The first row with maximum number of 1 in a binary matrix.
Correct.
So sir, what we can do is for each row there are n cross m, there is n cross m matrix. So for each row we can start iterating from end of an array, and the first index where we find the 0. So like we started from right end of an matrix, the first column, and we find 0 at some place. So all the number behind this 0 will be 1. So the count of number, we get the number of 1 to the right of the number of 1 in the first column. Next we will move to the next. Sir, your voice is not coming.
Please pardon that you said that you will be finding like you will be iterating the first row and you will be finding the number of ones, and you said in the first column or first row.
Sir, in the first row the number of ones. So
Okay.
first we will find the number 1. Sir, in next row we know we particularly we can have a variable where we could store the last index where 1 occurred. We move to the next row and see if it is 1. We further move to the right, to the left, sorry,
Okay.
and we keep on doing this. If the number is 0, like if from this column we move to the lower, from this row we move to the lower row, and if the number is 0, we can say that all the it is less than the above one, so we move
Okay.
to the next row. So
Okay.
this is of n plus m complexity.
So like okay. So just be frank with me, right? Have you heard of this problem earlier, or you know this, or you knew this solution
Yes, sir.
priorly?
Yes,
Okay,
sir. I heard this, sir.
so you have solved it, right? Okay, so as it is quite logical that you have heard this problem, right? So, okay, so can you tell me another approach of solving this problem?
Sir, I can think of binary search because this is simply sorted array. So we can think of binary search. I'm not sure because I haven't implemented yet. So what we can do is for the first row, the thing we were searching like linear search we were doing for counting the number of ones. So
Mhm.
same thing we can do for with binary search.
So
So over
can you
time
okay?
complex.
So can you explain it to me, like how will you apply binary search on that?
So sir, particularly we have to find the last index where the zero occur
Okay.
uh, for every row. So
Oh,
for
okay. So
first row,
also wait. So can you summarize the idea, like how we'll be using the binary search to find the answer? Can you summarize that part? And after that, we'll be moving in the basic details of how you will apply binary search, right? So first of all,
so
explain how you will apply binary search.
so sir, we will use binary search to find the last index where the zero occur or first index where
Mm-hmm.
the one start occurring. So for
Mm-hmm.
this, we will have low and high pointer.
Mm-hmm.
We will calculate the mid. We will
Mm-hmm.
see if this number is zero or one.
Mm-hmm.
So if this mid is zero, then this is not a promising side. We can move to the right, which is more promising. That we will find the
Okay.
first one over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will because in binary search we need to do the same, that we have to eliminate the right half or some
Correct.
half of
Correct.
the array. So
Correct.
we will move to the right part, and by this we will find wherever we will find the first one, we will stop, and that index is where the number of one in the column minus
Okay. Cool. So can you write down the approach, the code for that n plus m approach for me?
n
Just
plus
quickly write
m.
down the n plus n
Sure,
approach,
sure, sure.
the code for that
Yes,
quickly. Just before that, just share your screen with me.
yes, sir, yes, sir. So, sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah. Can you
So sir,
increase the font a bit?
sure, sir.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So, sir, by this we can calculate the last index where the one will occur. So, if zero occur, we find the index where the zero occur. We can update answer to maximum of answer, and there are m columns, so m minus j plus one, and finally we can return answer.
Okay. So can you explain the logic of this? This else loop, that is answer equal to max of. So what are you basically doing here?
We need to break actually. So, sir, firstly I'm iterating over the row. So if I can explain this, sir, like if this is 0 0 0,
Mm-hmm.
or let it be 1.
Okay, okay. So I got the idea behind this nested loop is that you will be iterating till you are getting a one, right, on the left
Yes, sir.
hand side, right, the first one. Now, suppose if you're not getting a one, so what's the logic behind? Suppose you're not getting what's the logic behind this answer equal to max of answer comma m minus j plus one?
Sir, initially answer is initialized to 0. So, sir, if m minus j plus 1, m is the number of column and j is the index where the first 0 we encountered. So suppose this is 0 1 2 3 4 5. So there are 5 column, and
But
we
you have
see
to
the.
return the row, right? You have to return the row number, not the column number.
Sir, I need to return maximum number of 1 or the row number which have the maximum 1.
The first row with maximum
Yes,
number of
sir.
ones.
So sir, we need to change this if it is
Yeah.
if answer is greater than m minus j plus 1. So you can have one another variable row which you could initialize to minus 1, or you can initialize to 0. So we can update the value of row. So we can change row to I and break. Sorry. So like this.
Okay. So can you tell the time complexity of this approach?
Sir, we are iterating over the n row, and in worst case, the loop with variable j can move up to 0. So I think the time complexity will be n plus n.
Okay. So can you just move a bit up, move it upward. Now what you have did here is, in the first loop you are traversing for the rows, right? And the second one you are traversing for the columns from the last part only, from the last column, right? So
Yes,
how
sir.
it
Yes,
can be? So how it can be n plus m?
this can be n plus m. The previous one was n cross m.
Correct. So now what changes have you made? Can you explain?
Sir, like answer is keeping the track where the last one occur, for which the one was maximum. The row for which one was maximum. So like we were in previous solution, we were starting from every time we were starting from the right end of a matrix or row of a matrix, but this time we were starting the from where we have encountered, where we have seen the one last time. So this will reduce, like if the element is 0, then we will not move to that particular index.
So
We
yeah,
will not.
so you told correctly, right? But do you think that you have implemented the code as you have said? Because if you are keeping the track of the last one you are getting, right? So what's the point of updating by taking the maximum of answer and all? Do you think that this line will be necessary? Because once you are into this loop, that means you have found a new column starting with one, right? So do you think that it is necessary to
Sir,
compare
I
this
think
answer?
here we need to change the value of answer if it is greater to max of m minus j plus 1,
No,
and
no, you are not
updating the
getting my
value of.
point. You are not getting my point, right? What you are doing in this nested loop is, if you are having the last pointer track of the last one you are getting in the previous row, right? So what you are doing in the next row, you are trying to find the column which is having one more in the left hand side, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
on. Then only if you are having in the next row of the previous one, if you are having a one, right, on the left, on the one more left column, then only your nested loop will be iterating, right? Else it won't be iterating. Okay, let me depict, right? Let me share my screen with you.
So I need to stop sharing.
I guess no. So let us consider this case, right? You have this one, and let's take another zero here. And now you have 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. And now here you have, right? So now what you're doing here, is my screen visible, Harsh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, what your idea is, suppose you are getting the last one in this row here, right? Now in the next row, you will be starting a nested loop in the next row from this column, right? This column, because you're getting a 1 here,
Yes, sir.
correct? And you will be iterating in this row until till the point you're getting a 1. But here you are getting the 1 only up till here, so this nested loop will break here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now, so once you know the last pointer track of the last most one you got in the previous row, then what's the point of updating the the answer? You have the track by yourself, and you are assured that that the row is sorted, right? And if you are moving
Yes,
on
sir.
to the next row, assuming that if you are having a one, then then only you will have your nested loop running, correct? So what's the point of comparing? If you know
Yes,
that your
sir.
nested loop is working, that means you have found the maximum number of ones in the just next row, right? So there is
Yes,
no
sir.
point of comparing with the answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can remove
So
the
can you,
nested loop.
yeah, so can you update your answer according to that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, do that. Share our screen, Harsh. It's not visible. Yep.
Sir, is it visible, sir?
Yep.
So, sir, what we can do is we know that at this index, the auto that the number of one is obviously more than the last one. So we need not to actually compare it if it is greater than answer or not. We can directly update the value of answer to m minus j plus 1 and update the value of row to row number I for the
Correct.
next time
Correct.
again when. Yes, sir.
Correct. Now, do you think that all the edge cases or it will work perfectly?
So for the single row, it is single row, then only zero is there.
Okay. Take an example, right? You have initialized your the final answer in the row, correct? Row equal to 0. Now, if I say that the grid is having all the zeros in all the cells, in all the n into m cells, it is having all zeros.
Sir, it will return actually zero. It will return.
Yeah, but that's not the answer, right? Because none of
Yes,
the
sir.
rows is having one. So can you update it? Change it?
So, sir, if there is no row having one, we should return minus one or something else.
Yeah, -1.
So here we can change this value to minus one. And value of j equals to 1. So, sir, value of row will never get changed if we
Okay.
initialize it
And
to
any
minus.
more error? Any more error?
If it is minor, if it is initialized to 1 1 1 1, then
Just take an overview at your code, right? Just take an overview at your code. You will definitely find the error.
so if all the element are
Don't consider any cases, right? Just look at your code once again from line number 6 to line number 20 and find the error. What's the error?
sir, I think it is changed. We need to initialize it with n minus 1 actually. Oh, sorry, m minus 1.
Okay. So that's all. Okay. In which variable you are storing your final answer, the row number? Correct. That's all. So these are a silly mistake, right? Even if we know the if we have solved this problem earlier, right? So the basic point is that if we even if we have solved this problem earlier, we don't need to be overconfident about it. There might be some errors we can commit as you have committed here, right? So don't be get excited that if the interviewer asking you the same problem you have solved, he
Yes,
might
sir.
have some other plans to piss you off, right? And he can do that. So no issues. That's a learning here. Now moving on to the next question, correct? So my next question is, have you heard about the Pascal triangles?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So considering a Pascal triangle, right? And I'll give you a number n. You have to return the nth line of that Pascal triangle. So if you if you're not aware of the pattern of the Pascal triangle, I will share my screen with you, right? So okay, basically, yeah. So this is the Pascal triangle, right? The line number 1 is having this, right? This is the Pascal triangle. This is the pattern, right? Suppose if I give you a variable or n equal to, let us say, 4, then you have to return this line of the Pascal triangle to me in a vector.
The fourth row.
Yeah, the fourth row of this Pascal triangle. So are you aware of the formula for getting this of getting this value from the Pascal triangle?
Yes.
Are you aware of the
Yes, sir.
formula?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so yeah, I hope you understood the problem statement completely. So yeah, move on with the logic, Harsh.
So, sir, uh, rth row and c column of a Pascal, cth column of a Pascal triangle is R minus 1 C C minus 1. So what can we do is
Okay, so
either
you're
we
using combination, right? So how
yes sir.
how you came up with this formula of R minus one CC minus one?
Sir, R minus 1 C C minus 1.
Yeah, the formula, because you are saying that the value at this R minus one C minus one
R
is
through
R
and
one.
C. Sir,
So how are
actually
you coming
Pascal
up with this?
triangle. Sir, Pascal triangle is basically a plus b raised to the power n. The coefficient of the variable is actually the uh, R through or C column of a Pascal triangle. So by this, by expanding binomial theorem using binomial theorem, a plus b raised to the power n, the coefficient which we get is the row of the Pascal triangle. So using this
Okay,
method.
so if you go with this formula, so it is you can solve it directly, right? There is no issue with that. It will be straightforward. But I don't want this to come to the solution with this formula, that because it is a predefined formula, right? I want you to come up with a basic approach, like how will you approach if you don't know this formula? Because I want to judge your thinking skills and logical skills, right? I don't
Sir,
want to
if
judge you on the basis of the previous knowledge.
so, sir, if you see the, can I sir share my screen? So, sir,
Yeah,
observe
sure,
sometime.
sure, sure, sure.
So, sir, if we see Pascal triangle, so first row is 1, then we have 1 and 1, then we have 1, 2 and 1, and 1, 3, 3, 1. So, what we can observe is like 1, 3, 1, 4, 3, 3, 6, 3, 1, 4, and then 1. Sir, so for every column, every row except row number 0, we will have first and last element as 1. And for all the other element, what we do is we add the previous two element from this. Like for I row j column, we add the row I minus 1 j minus 1 and I minus 1 j plus 1. So by this we
I
get
minus
the
one J plus one. Are you sure about that?
I minus 1 j, sorry, I minus 1 and j, I minus
Yeah.
1 j minus 1 and I minus 1 j, and we keep on adding this. So if it is asked to uh, completely build the Pascal triangle from first row to the nth row, then we can build this using this approach that initialize first two row and then we keep on adding this. And for the rth row, the number of column we can observe like this is row number 0, row number 1 we have one column, row number 2 we have 2, row number 3 we have 3, and so on. So this is the number of element in each row.
Okay.
So easily we can calculate the column, every row of a Pascal
Okay.
triangle.
So can you write the formula for like the code for me for finding the elements of the nth row of that Pascal triangle?
Element of nth row of Pascal triangle.
Yep.
Sure, sir. I will try to write.
Okay. So one more hint I can provide to you, right? You can easily can you think in the manner of recursion, because it will reduce your tedious task.
Recursive.
Like suppose if you want to find, okay, so what's the basic idea of this? Like you just did completely, right? You have the knowledge of the Pascal triangle. So if I'm saying that you have to find the and you sort of declared that it is a kind of DP problem, right? Because you have to determine the nth row with the help of n minus 1th rows value, right?
Yes, sir.
So what if I
Yes,
say that if you want to find the elements of the nth row, then you must be having in your bag the n minus 1th row element, right? So with this concept, can you use recursion?
so, sir, sure. I will try to implement this.
Okay.
So if we are given with n, so if n equals to, simply we have to return the first row. What we can return is we can return simply 1. And if n equals to 2, what we can return is and 1. For all other case, we need to create a vector of type result, vector of type int result and so sir, we need vector for n minus 1. So we can have vector of int previous equals to solve for n minus 1
Mm-hmm.
and previous of I minus 1 j minus 1 plus previous of I and j minus 1. Then we can declare the value result of n minus 1 equals to 1. I hope so this will work.
Okay. Wait a sec, right? What you have done, your previous is a linear array, right?
Yes, sir.
But what the recursive formula written is I minus 1, j minus 1.
Previous will automatically contain some for n minus 1. So j minus 1 and j. Sorry, not j actually. I minus 1 and I. And this will return result.
Correct. That's correct. So that was the approach, because with the if you didn't know, or if I can say that if I didn't give you the hint about recursion, right? That is the for finding the nth row, you have to find n minus 1th row. So without that, that won't ever be possible, right? But I
Yes,
love
sir.
the idea that you just heard a bit of hint of mine and you just quickly implemented that code. So that was really good. Cool. Okay. Now moving to the next question first, right? Okay. So suppose the question is, you are given a 2D grid, right? And a grid is having the character values, that is, each cell can have a dot or a hash, right? And you have to, so dot represents there is no blockage in the path, and hash represents there is a blockage in the path, right? There is a hindrance in the path, and you are given another integer k, right? And you have to reach from the topmost left cell to the bottom right cell, right? That is from
Yes,
0
sir.
comma 0 to n minus 1 m minus 1, and you are given an integer k. So the
Yes, sir.
task is to determine whether you can, and one more thing is that to reach from one cell to the another cell, you can only move if there is no blockage,
And we
right?
can we
And
can
you
move
can,
in all four
yeah,
directions.
correct. You can move in all four directions, and your task is to determine whether or not you can reach the bottommost right cell within that given time or not.
Within that value of k.
Yeah.
So, sir, if I brief the question is particularly that we are given with a matrix of dot and hash, where
Hmm.
hash means a blockage, and
Hmm.
I need to figure out whether I could reach to the bottom end of a matrix
Hmm.
uh, with k moves only.
No, k moves, no, not k moves with k time. That means k denotes the time you are having to reach from the
Yes,
0 comma 0 cell to the n minus 1 m minus 1 cell. And for each move that you are making, that means in each shifting you are making to the either of the four directions, it will take 1 unit of time. You can consider that. Now you have to determine whether you can reach within within that gate unit of time
bottom right.
to the destination, right? Right. So yeah.
Sir, the first thing which we could think is of BFS, because every move is having the constant time, that is same time every time we are moving from one cell to another.
Okay, I'm
And
not to
while
interrupt you, right? But why not DFS? Because in the DFS you can pass, in the next for the next direction call, you can again pass as count plus one, right? So why not DFS? In the
so
DFS also you can
DFS is
have the,
so
yeah, correct.
DFS
Go
is
on.
DFS is actually not always optimal. So
Why?
basically, while DFS is not optimal, like DFS go to the depth, and
Yeah,
like if we need to search the element, uh, the nearest element to the one. So if this is we consider to tree, if this is a root, if one is if tree is having two child, one and two, and if we need to search for two, so DFS firstly will start and going to the depth, and it will
yeah.
find whether two exist in its left or not.
Okay,
So sir, if
okay.
two exist at the bottom most level of a tree, so it will return that yes, two exist at fourth level or fifth level. It will not check at the first level next
Okay,
child.
so what's the issue, right? So we are passing another parameter that is as count, right? The time we have elapsed, right? So once we backtrack, we will again move to the root again, right? So the count of the time variable will be again initialized to zero at that particular state. So what's the issue
So
in
like
the
if we
DFS?
start moving, sir, DFS, what I think is, sir, if we apply DFS in this problem, so suppose we can move to reach to the target in more than k moves. So it will return that we can move in more than k moves. It will, yes, sir, DFS will check all the possibilities actually. So it can return that way. True or false, it can return.
Yeah. So why not moving with DFS? Why moving with BFS only?
Sir, BFS, sir, actually BFS is a, we can say that
Harsh,
more.
before moving further, your video is stuck for a while. So can you check it?
Your video is stuck too, sir.
I guess you're some network issue by your side, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so move further. There is no issue. You're perfectly audible. So go ahead. Go ahead with the approach.
Sir, please give me a few minutes, sir, so that I can
Yeah, sure,
establish
sure.
the
No
network
issue.
connection.
Yeah, no issues. No issues. So meanwhile, the viewers are asking that some sample test case kind of thing, right? So I'll share my screen for a while to depict the sample test case. So yeah, I hope my screen is visible to the viewers, right? So what I said that we are given a matrix of characters, right? That is, it can be either hash or one, right? And so yeah, it is hash. Right? And again put a hash here. So in each move, you can either move to any of the four directions, right? And suppose in this case, I have given you a time equal to 5, right? And you have to determine whether in this time limit can you reach to from this 0,0 cell to this last one cell. So here, if there is hash, that means the path is blocked. You cannot move further from this one, right? So so the answer for it is that okay, so the one way is you can go to the all the right, so you will the time elapsed will be 1, 2 and 3 units time will be elapsed, and now from here you can reach in 4 and 5. So you can reach there, right? Another way was that might be possible was to go to this 1, 2, then move downwards, that is 3, then come to right again, then here. So the time will be again 5, but yeah, it is a possible to reach from the topmost left to the bottommost right? So this was the question. I hope now the question is clear to the viewers. Yeah, Harshit, the variable K is time unit. Yeah, Ayush, you are right. Yeah, so basically time is equal to moves. So basically, to the viewers, right? Okay. So I will depict why DFS will not work perfectly. DFS will surely work perfectly. There is no issue regarding that. But the time complexity for DFS for the working of DFS will be too much high, because for the DFS we have to apply backtrack again, right? Because if we are moving, okay, so we'll clear it later. Yeah, move ahead.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I think we were on BFS and DFS.
Right. So why DFS won't work? Can you explain? Like it will
Sir,
work,
yes,
but
sir,
why
it will
not
work.
moving with DFS or why moving with BFS?
Sir, I think for traversing each and every level, to find matlab, means to find the optimal solution in the lesser time complexity, the BFS would be best. The reason is, if we generally consider the tree, if this is the root of a tree, so it
Mm-hmm.
will firstly go to the depth, if it find if it is optimal or not, then it will move to the second row, then similarly it will move, and suppose at the last end the real solution or the true solution lies at the last, at the rightmost child of a tree. So
Mm-hmm.
same if we do with a BFS,
No,
then
but
what will
that's not the
happen?
issue, right? I will tell you a hint to solve your issue, right? So you're saying that the answer can be lying in the rightmost child, right? The rightmost leaf.
Yes, sir. The first
But
child of a
okay,
root.
okay. But once the DFS stack winds up, when the winding up of the DFS state returns, I'm saying that we will have a counter that will be denoting the time elapsed for that particular state. So once you backtrack kind of thing, the counter will be again reset to zero if you wish to root again, right? So there is no issue for that you are telling me, right? There is another reason why DFS is not efficient one and why BFS is efficient one, right? So I guess we are running out of time, so I will tell you why DFS is the issue. DFS will surely find us the answer because DFS is kind of a brute force approach, right? We will check all the possible answers we are getting, but the issue lies here that once suppose we have a path and we can reach till the end for that path, right? And while doing DFS, we know that we mark as visited, right? So that we
Yes,
don't
sir.
get stuck in the loop again. Now, the issue is that there might be some another path with the shortest time that is having a cell which is already marked visited, but we cannot traverse there,
Yes.
right? Because it is visited. So we have to backtrack, in the sense we have to again mark them unvisited. So it will be becoming out as a kind of backtrack solution, right? So the time
Yes.
complexity, it won't be reached. That's why we have to use BFS, right? So now can you tell me the BFS approach?
BFS approach for
Mhm.
reaching to the end. So, sir, should I code or verbally I should tell?
First of all, tell me the approach, then move on to the coding.
So, sir, we will maintain a queue in which firstly we'll push the starting index. We will
Mm-hmm.
maintain a queue of pair of int and int,
Mm-hmm.
and we will check for all its neighbor. If the neighbor is having value of hash, means blockage is there, we will
Mm-hmm.
not that push that element into the queue, and else we can push that element into the queue. So while popping the element from the queue, not every time, for each label, like for 00 we push 01 and 10. So
Mm-hmm.
while popping 0011, like we will calculate, like as we do the label or order traversal of a graph or a tree, we will increase the counter to by 1.
Mm-hmm.
So if counter reaches k or more than k, uh, and the target is not found, then we can return false, else we can return true if wherever
Okay.
the target is found.
So what entities will be storing in the queue?
So pair of integer and integer, that is I and j, ith row and jth column.
Okay. Okay. So just can you write down quickly the code because we're running short of time.
Yes, sir, sure, sir.
Share your screen with me and then.
So this is screen visible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we consider that all the parameters we have taken is right, then we need to maintain the queue of pair of int and int,
Mm-hmm.
that is q, and we will push uh, So, sir, we will check all the neighbors of the current index, or we can pop it over. Then, so now we will push all the neighbor. Sorry. We need to do this inside the count.
The logic behind it. Why it won't work if you write the other way?
If we write it at the top, then we are not doing actually the label order. We are not traversing the label wise label, and count will become
Okay.
0, and we will not have anything in our queue.
So you are trying to move for each cell in a particular level, or
Yes,
I can say that in a particular level you're trying to traverse for all the cells, right? For all the
yes, sir.
partitions. Yeah. Okay.
So, sir, now I will check for all the neighbors. That is, if I minus 1 greater than equals to 0, and that matrix of I minus 1 and j is not equals to hash, if hash is blockers. So what we will do is we will push that element into q, that is I minus 1 and j. So we will push all the 4 neighbors, and what we are going to
Mm-hmm.
do is we are going to decrement the value of count k, and for every time we will check, not here actually, we will, what we will do here is we will check if the popped element, if I equals to n minus 1 and j equals to m minus 1, then we need to return true.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, it may be wrong, but if k become less than 0, then we need to return false, no matter where we are.
Okay. So as I understood that what you have done after this line q dot pop, that the similar line will be written for all the 4 directions.
Yes, sir, for 4 time.
Okay, so there is one bug in your code, right? So you have only checked when you have reached the last cell, right? That is n minus one, n minus one. But what about the time? Suppose the time is greater. If you are reaching there and the time is greater.
So, sir, time is greater means, sir, it
Okay,
is not less
so
than
you're
k.
decrementing. So basically you're decrementing at each count, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay, in the while loop, right? What? So you are returning false after this while loop is over, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you have to check here, right? But you have to check in the if condition also. If k is less than 0, then if k is greater than 0, greater than equal to
Sir,
0, then only you can return true, right?
if k is less than 0, because we are given with a k value that in k moves we have to reach, so we are after traversing each level we are decrementing the value of k by 1.
Okay,
So
okay,
if,
cool. Let me explain to you, right? This condition of line number 40 will reach out once when you are done with all the level order traversal, right? Correct?
no, sir, this is inside this loop na. So for each and every level this will return for each after traversing
Okay,
each and
okay,
every.
my bad. Okay, so this is in the okay that loop only. So yeah, That's correct now. Okay, sure, it will work. Right. So yeah, Harsh, I'm done with my side. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir, I have few questions. Sir,
Mm-hmm.
first question, can you please give me some review on my resume, or how should I make it such
Okay.
that
So
it got selected?
okay. So yeah, that I will give you definitely. Any other question apart from that?
Sir, one more question with which I am dealing with particularly, sir. After solving so many questions on this coding platform, because I am not that much good with competitive programming, sir, after solving so
Mm-hmm.
much question, I am a bit confident about interviews question. But the question
Mm-hmm.
asked in the coding round, the first round of the any of the company, whichever is coming in my college, so the question asked in that round are relatively very much harder than, or they are something like competitive programming. So
Yeah.
how and where?
So there is the reason behind that. They have kept this round because as you can sense that there are a hell lot of people who are applying for a particular job, right? So they have to screen it out, right? right? So they have to have some criteria for that. So they sort of try to design CP problems so that not all of them can solve them. Only those who can solve them who genuinely have done the problem solving, right? Not like just solving a particular list of DSA questions like 450 DSA question, 150 DSA question, and try cracking those around, right? So they have purposely designed, because as you can see that in this lockdown period, the competition has been, right? The level of competition and the standard is being raised so high, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's why they have designed it purposefully, that thing, right? So no need to worry about that. If you are mastering, or you think that you have mastered the DSA part, you have to just focus, keep your calm, hold on your nerves, and just because the difference between DSA and CP problem is that CP problem basically contains the story format, right?
Yes,
They
sir.
only contain DSA part, but it is in a story format. And just let me assure you that the question that I've asked, this one, that the BFS kind of question, it was generally asked in one of my friends a coding round question, right? So be assured you can solve those questions as also, right? Have faith in yourself, right? So yeah, that's all. And now coming back to your feedback, Harsh, as you said that yourself, you said that you have solved so much of DSA and basically specific to the interviews, right? But by saying that, you yourself know that if you solve this particular question, then you know the optimal approach for it, right? But the interviewer don't want to know whether you know the answer or not. It's not a boolean value. It's not kind of boolean that 0 or 1, right? It's considered about your logical and thinking skills, right? That's why I told you to write down the code for n plus m approach. But initially you made a bit of mistake. You knew the approach, but you just messed up writing down the code, right? So you just have to practice a bit much more, right? It's not about learning or mugging up the answers. It's about learning the logic from those questions.
So, sir, should I start with brute force approach every time the question is asked?
Correct. Right? You should, to make an impression of the interviewer, just start, let him tell that you're having this idea, how you can optimize it so that he can understand that you don't have mugged up this solution. You know logically how it's going on, and once you update your solution on the brute force to that one, that means that you know logically what's going behind and why we can update it, right? So that's the basic approach you can do.
Okay, sir.
Okay? So that's all from my side for the feedback. So yeah, all
Thank
the
you,
best
sir.
for your future endeavors.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
great, guys, great. Thank you, Harsh, for going through this and taking it so in a way that was very involving, and definitely people who are watching you would benefit from it, from this experience. And Dhananjay, thank you so much again for
No issues.
coming and
My pleasure.
doing this for us. Yeah, so all the best, Harsh, for your placement. I'm sure that placement season you must be pumped up for that. So all the best for that.
Thank you,
And
sir.
all right, guys, I'll bid you goodbye and talk to the audience now for a minute.
Sure, sir.
Bye,
Bye bye,
Harsh.
sir.
Bye,
Take care.
Dhananjay.
Bye,
Thank you.
sir.
All right, everyone. I hope you liked the session and get vaccinated, stay safe, be healthy, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Um, all right, guys. Akshay this side. I'll see you soon again tomorrow. And till then, take care, keep learning, keep growing. Bye.